Okay, good morning. Well, I know we'll have some tricklers. So this is our monthly sales meeting. I don't know what the difference is between that and any other meeting, but anyway, I get different slides. This was a very inviting house. I want to be there right now. All right, so here's what we're talking about today. A lot of excitement and all the information that you hear in the news about mortgages. Actually, there was a segment last night on the news that affordability has dipped to its 15-year low because of the interest rates and the huge price increases that we've seen. The average price of a house in the US now is over 400,000, which is, so that's an all-time peak in May. We'll see what June holds. As I've told you guys, a reduction in demand due to the higher interest rates doesn't translate necessarily into a price reduction, right? Because we still have an imbalance of supply and demand, right? And that's what the Fed keeps talking about, is rebalancing the economy by trying to push down demand because supply could not meet it, and that's what we were getting, all the price escalations. So certainly we've seen that in the real estate market, and we've seen that in the economy. So as you're talking to people who are getting nervous or thinking this is going to become this great buying opportunity, and we'll see when we talk about the absorption rates are going the other way. So remember, absorption rates are a measure of that balance in supply and demand. Right. So you have to, really caution people. What is going on in the economy does not necessarily translate with what happens in the real estate market, right? A recession does not necessarily mean a real estate market crash or reduction, right? We have to still look at what is the balance between supply and demand. All right, does that all make sense to you guys? And that's why I talk about this, every week at the sales meeting. But it's really important, especially right now, that you are really counseling your clients, right? You definitely want to make sure that you are doing a buyer consultation, because now especially you need to make sure that people are qualified to purchase, what they're qualified to purchase, and really, explain to them the dynamics of what's happening in the market. Because there's a lot of news out there, right? Every day there's something about inflation, mortgage rates, the real estate market. So there's a lot of noise out there. And people really just need to be counseled as to what does that translate to them and their specific situation. All right, so does that all make sense? Any comments or questions about that? Okay, good. All right, so then we go on to next corner. I have a video that I thought was really good about closing more leads. I'm trying to build up the pond. I know some of you were doing other lead generation sources. So to me, it's not just about leads, but about closing them, right? All new agents come, you learn in real estate school, go to a broker that's providing leads. To me, that's not, we provide tons of leads. Should not be your concern. It's learning how to close those leads, okay? That is the most important skill that you learn and develop in your business, right? So we're gonna talk more about that. We have our college senior who was helping us with Kimia's guidance, creating 10 marketing materials. It's been something that I've wanted to put out there for a very long time. So it was really nice to have a resource that was dedicated and focused on pulling that stuff together for us. And just a reminder, the ugly listing contest. Come on, guys, this is the peak of the real estate market. This is the time these people should be selling, right? Because buyers are still going to overlook that clutter or I have a picture so far of dog poop on the ground inside the house, mind you. So far, that's the leading category. But I know you guys are working. Some of you are working on sort of the more investment property kinds of houses. So these would be great ones for the ugly listing contest. All right, so I am going to turn it over to Mark. Mark, are you on?
I'm here.
All right, fill us in on the world of mortgages.
So yeah,
We're probably not a popular guy on Wednesday.
exactly. But no, but to your point, there's certainly a lot of information that's coming out there. As far as what's happening with the Fed. Um, so the inflation obviously is kind of the eyes are on that too, and what happened with the Fed last week, raising short-term rates. It was higher than that it could possibly be 0.75, 3/4 of a point of a rate hike, as opposed to 50 is what they were talking about prior to. So they did do it 75. So they're certainly being aggressive. It's the highest hike in years. Because of that, the rates certainly did increase. They're saying that they eased a little bit, but overall, they did really sharpen and move up. And it's just, again, it's continuing to just be the reality. So to your point, for sure, the people that are really getting tight as far as affordability and qualifications, certainly need to circle back and and update numbers and really see where the affordability is, considering what's happening and where the rates are headed, and maybe how long they're projected to be looking, whether it be hopefully find something now, as opposed to, everybody knows how crazy the market still is. So if it's a 3-month down the road, until they find something, it's certainly going to be a different looking market. So they really need to have consistent updating of what's going on as far as what they qualify for. It's just the way it is, and they can continue to go higher.
And also education, Mark. So there was an interesting part of that news story last night, which was talking about, sort of the resurgence of ARMs, right? We had totally dismissed those, and they said, it went from, in 2006, it made up 36% of the new mortgages to only to less than 10% now. There are, lending solutions to people that are feeling a little bit more of a market squeeze, right? Because remember, people are only in their house on average 8 to 10 years, right? So, 30-year fixed, yeah, when rates are 3%, you want to lock in the 30-year fixed rate, of course, but there are other mortgage solutions. So again, remember to bring Mark into the discussions where he can really educate the consumer. There are options out there that they can still buy.
Yeah, and listen, it's a good point. If you're talking about ARMs, the conversations are starting to come more and more into play, that it could possibly be, an option for somebody. I mean, obviously, it's a conversation that needs to have, with me to see, but ARMs are maybe coming back into play, and they could be something that, it could be talked about with the potential client. FHAs, obviously, I think they're going to be, coming back more and more, and look, and the conversation is shifting to, at this point, to obtain a mortgage, or the mortgage rate is now becoming a cost. So if you want something maybe halfway decent, again, it always depends on the file, but if there's something halfway decent that you might want or look for, it might be a cost to get that interest rate. So those conversations need to, be talked about. If the market does start to shift as far as appraisals, and they start to dip a little bit, people were doing appraisal waivers. If that starts to change, you can have a conversation, maybe, if they're willing to do an appraisal waiver, they're willing to maybe to take some sort of money towards that and put it towards points to get a better interest rate. So there's different conversations or different ways to start talking about, and that's not quite there yet, because the market is still, again, the inventory is so low, but that might be coming down the road a little bit. But there are options, maybe to go a different road at this point, and maybe down the road a little bit to get something that's most comfortable for them, or to make sure that they can slip into something that they could qualify for now, just in a different way.
Yeah, yeah. So point being, involve Mark in your buyer's consultation, because now especially, right, people are going to need to look at different options and be more educated And in a shifting market, remember, I think that that's our biggest value is you really want to be their trusted advisor. So you really want to educate them on the market, helping them meet their goals of the market and how that's going to happen. So make sure you're bringing Mark into those conversations.
So, here's where we are. Again, this is just kind of the trend of where it's going. We're at 6 now. Again, it obviously depends on the file. So, real good file could be a little bit better. If the file is really, a harder file to look at, or, just something that's just a bit on a little bit weaker, the rate's certainly going to be higher than this, so they really need to be prepared of what the file is really going to look like and but this is
And Mark, you're breaking up.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah, so again, this is what we're looking at here. This is the pocket, and really depends on the file. If it's a weaker file, they really need to be prepared of, that the rate's probably going to be higher than this. So that conversation it's a real one, and some of them certainly are a little bit shocked when they hear it, but this is just where it's trending.
Okay, and
I have a question for you,
everything
Mark.
in perspective.
Hang on, I think someone had a question.
Somebody, John.
Oh, John. Hey.
I have a couple people that may be in the situation. I have them get them to talk to you, but you have a ballpark idea what these arms are, like a 3 or 5 year?
Yeah, so yeah, it's more like a 5 or a 7.
Okay.
10 is an option too. There's just different, there's just different types that, I can certainly look at for them and just see what the situation is. But you get them in front of me first, and and I can get a breakdown, and give them a little bit of a comparison of what they're looking at, and or what they're what they envision, and maybe just talk to them about some options.
Right. Okay. I just want to get a ballpark idea. I don't like to talk rates with the buyers, but I figured if it's substantially better than 6%, it might be.
Yeah,
helpful.
no, again, yeah, I mean, and I don't want to give you something, just right now, because I have to look and just see where each one would be trending, a 3, a 5, 7, or 10.
Okay.
But I can give you a better idea if you want to call me later.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you want to do a conference call with them, I can go over all that with them.
Great.
But
All
it
right.
is, but it is, listen, it is lower than what you've seen here, that's for sure.
I would figure. All right. Thanks a lot.
And oh, I just lost my train of thought. No, remember to get those mortgage scenario sheets from Mark before open houses, right? Because he'll lay those different options out, and what does that translate to into a monthly payment, right? So consumer can see, okay, what does a 30-year fixed look like versus 5-year arm, a 10-year arm, 15-year mortgage. I doubt people are doing those right now. So what do those monthly payments look like?
Absolutely.
Because that's what people look at, is what's the monthly payment and what am I comfortable with?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, that's really the biggest thing, what they're comfortable paying with, every month, and how we can get them to that. So yeah, it's a good point. If you look at this, and if you're looking at this flyer right here, I mean, look at, the average, again, I mean, we're going over 50 years, and I certainly know, way back when, how high the rates were, I don't know, 1980 and, all that stuff that people talk about, so, but you're looking at an average of, almost 8 on the average, so, and obviously, certain things take into account, over the years, the cost of the house might be lower, but this is where the average is over the past 50 years. So it's just a little bit of a interesting flyer to, to look at.
Yeah, and to share with people at buyers consultations, right? It's, everything's in perspective, right? Look at over 18%.
Yeah, and when they talked about, we were at the all-time lows at the 3s and the 4s and the 5s. I mean, when you look at this, it really is true. It was, so I mean, right now, I mean, we're still, again, if you look at it that way, we're still under the average.
Yeah, we're still under the average.
So it's an interesting slide. new flyer for, seller, we talk about this all the time. So the new seller, $5,000 guarantee. Again, you guys are using it really well when you guys are making offers. Buyers are offering their 5,000 to the seller. So I just, keep doing it, keep using these flyers, put it at, bring it to the open houses, make sure that they register and you can talk to them about it. Just keep doing what you guys are doing. So, because you guys are doing a good job with it.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity to really differentiate ourselves in this tight market.
So Alice and Chatrian, thank you guys for the week. Appreciate it. A little bit of a slower week, but you guys know I'm around if you need anything. So let me know.
All right, any questions for Mark? All right, thanks.
Mark, before you go,
Mhm.
I have new listing in Belleville that I will need property flyer for the open house.
Okay.
I won't be here, but UNESTA will be here doing it.
Okay. Yeah. Just give me, circle back with me either later, today, and give me kind of the, just the, the details of it. I'll take care of it.
All right, Nick, are you on?
Alice, can I just share I'm also going to be with Yesenia on Sunday, for your information.
Okay, I'll email Mark all the properties and CC you guys on it.
Thank you.
All right, you're
Wait,
welcome.
hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had Maria on there also, so I don't know how many people you need on that one. On Sunday, so let's regroup and have that conversation,
Yeah.
okay?
All right.
Yeah,
so
because I think now it sounds like
we need
more
to do a
people
little
on it.
work on our open house board.
All right, no worries. We have 35 requests on that condo.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, but I think right now it sounds like we have 4 people, so we'll regroup on that one. Okay.
All right. Nick, I'm gonna stop sharing, let you take over.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Let's take a look at our office analytics. Let's see how we're doing. It's been about a week. How many people have you guys been prospecting?
So just to share something that I noted, I don't know if this happens to other people, but it looks like when somebody looks me up, like on my website, right? Because they're just Googling my name to get my phone number. It comes through as a new lead. So I'm getting like phone calls from like other agents and stuff like that, calling about, I guess, office stuff, and they're coming in as new leads. So just be cognizant of that. Make sure that you're looking at those. This is my point.
Yes, keep an eye on your dashboard. Your dashboard will tell you everything. All right, so we've been busy. You guys hit a lot of categories this week. So it looks like everybody's been prospecting pretty well. Your sphere, you guys have been going in and added some more family and friends. Some prospects have been added, some active leads, a lot of clients, one new closed. We went up 1,000 leads in a week. So great job, everybody. Keep prospecting, keep meeting new people, keep adding them into the system, and keep staying in front of them. Right, that is the goal.
And just let me just say one thing about the prospect category, because I did a one-on-one yesterday. Are you reaching out to the 1,400 people that you have in that? The prospect bucket that's your bucket to be reaching out to and cultivating, right? To create, find that real estate need, in which case then they're an active lead. Don't just be a lead collector where you're dumping all these people into my Weichert and then you're not doing anything with them. All right. The idea is that you have the prospect and sphere bucket, because that's what you're cultivating to find a real estate need, right? And have them become an active lead. All right. So don't be lead collectors is my point. Put people in there and reach out to them. Otherwise, there's really no point in them being in there.
Diane?
Yeah.
So with the leads, it's hard because I email people from the Garden State, I email people from KV Core, I email people. So sometimes it's hard it would be nice if everything was integrated into one.
So this is what KV Core says. The property alerts are more for, think of it as like a fishing expedition, quite frankly. Once you have them as a client status, they should be on the MLS. Because the property alerts are, there's better behavioral automation basically in my Wiker, right? It can do better tracking, it can do better follow-up than the Garden State. But the system is learning what they are interested in and will send them things that it thinks are relevant. So that's for when you have not really started working with them. Once you've really started working with them, they are a client, you should be using the MLS.
Okay, got it.
Okay, does that have to clarify?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then where do I put them when they're a client? Then I just put them as clients, but just leave them there. So then they're just
Leave
sitting.
them there because you want to make sure that you're following up with them.
Hey, Alex. Good, how are you?
Sorry, Michelle, I'm gonna mute you.
Yes.
Michelle, I think you need to mute yourself.
Yeah.
All right, got her. Yeah, so once they're a client status, you need to start using the MLS to really follow up with them. But when they're on client, these are people that you need to be, these are people that you're active with, right? These are people that are coming out and meeting you and going out to see houses. So these are people you should be following up with every single week. They're active, right? They're engaged. They're actually putting in offers, talking about listing their property, right? So you're checking in with them. How's the clean out going? Is there anything that I could do to help? Hey, drove by the house. I saw there was a lot of trash on the curb. Looks like you're making progress, right? These are people that you are definitely talking to every single week. And active leads just really just going to depend on, their time frame, how frequently you are reaching out to them, right? Once a week, every other week, once a month. Make sense?
Thanks, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so our engagement has gone down by 2 people. So you 2 people, you better go send some emails. We are looking to go in the other direction. We need to go up. An interesting stat, almost in all the offices that I've been noticing, is the logging in stat. So that's the one all the way to the left here. And it looks like we are at almost 58% of the offices logging in, but only 36% of the office is sending emails. So we have a good amount of you that are going onto the system and you're browsing around, you're taking a look, but you're not sending emails, you're not making calls, you're not sending text messages. If you have any questions on any of that, please feel free to reach out to me with any questions. My YouTube channel has a lot of videos on how to send emails. So definitely need to take a look into that. Also wanted to point out, if you're an agent and you've been thinking about getting started with MyWikert and you're like, man, where can I start? What do I do? The new agent success plan has been revamped. So they have redid it. So definitely, if you're looking to get started, a great place to go to in MyWikert. Right on the dashboard here, when you log in on the top right, you could see the agent success plan, and it's a number of videos that you can watch on how to get your profile set up, how to use the system. So definitely a great place to get started with MyWikert. Template of the week is going to be the newsletter this month. So June 10th is about backyard summertime fun. So a great one to send out to all your clients, all of your past clients, your prospects. The newsletters are great. And just a reminder, they're in there and the marketing team makes them twice a month. So if you just search Wikert newsletter, you'll see all of the past ones, all of the current ones coming up. So definitely take advantage of those.
And this is a no-brainer that you can send to everybody. So I told you guys, I didn't have my Weichert when I was an agent, but I did have a CRM. The two things that I sent out and kept me in a lot of business. I had a monthly newsletter that I didn't write. That was part of the service of the CRM company. And so ours is better. And when I did an open house or I had a new listing, that always went out to everybody in my database. So it's a great reminder, you're in the business, relevant information for everybody. So just make sure that you're consistently, it's that key word, consistency, utilizing these tools. And by the way, you can print these out. You obviously get rid of hello first name and attach that to a door knocker, right? All I hear from you guys is, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to talk about when I'm talking to people. Hey, I brought you this article. If you think that this topic is relevant for you, I'd love to add you to my email distribution list.
Yeah, these are great, and they're coming every month. They've been doing this for about 2 years now, so definitely go in there and take a look at them and send them out.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
content is huge, because that was something as an agent that I really struggled with.
Yeah, content. All right, so today we're going to talk about the prospect status. So 2 weeks ago, we talked about Sphere. Today, we're going to talk about the prospect status. So who is a prospect? A prospect is...
Sorry, let me find. Hold on.
Good.
All right, sorry, Nick.
All right, so this is the definition that KV Core has. A prospect is contacts you've met or have information for who you want to convert into real estate leads. They are not actively searching right now, and your efforts are directed towards getting them to do so, okay? I also found another definition I liked. So what is prospecting for real estate? So real estate prospecting is the process of finding new contacts and turning them into leads in order to grow your business. This is typically done through a mix of emails, phone outreach, increasing social media engagement, and meeting people in person through community events and networking. So I found a number of great real estate prospecting stats. So I was just going to read off a couple of these to you guys. Maybe I'll send this out to you guys too. All right, number one, follow up web leads and make contact with them in under 5 minutes. Speed to lead. We know 50% of sales will go to the first person to make contact with them, and the agent that makes at least 6 follow-up contacts has a 90% higher chance of getting a response and chance of converting the online lead. Okay, I've been seeing that stat a lot. It takes at least 6 touches, 6 calls to have a chance of converting the prospect, okay?
And let me clarify, a touch to me is not an email. I hear all the time from you guys, I sent an email. That's too passive. Pick up the phone and call somebody.
Yeah. All right, so I get this question all the time from you guys too. Nick, when is the best time to make email contact with a customer? They're saying it's 8 a.m. in the morning and 3 p.m. in the afternoon, okay? When is the best time to make these follow-up phone calls with customers is between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. in the afternoon. And then they said the second best time is between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. The worst time to call people is between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. So interesting numbers here. I'm just going to read this last one off here. The following are the best days of the week to follow up with contacts. Thursdays are the best follow-up and prospecting days. I've heard that a lot because I think people start getting happier towards the end of the week because it's almost the weekend.
And especially for real estate, because you're going to know what's going to be available to be seen that weekend, by end of day Thursday. So that's a great phone call to make. Hey, I saw this house come on and I think this might be a good one for us to see this weekend. When are you available? That's a great phone call or text message.
Let's take a look at the second best day to follow up with people. Wednesdays. Wednesdays are the second best follow-up and prospecting days. And the worst day to follow up or prospect, according to Inside Sales, are Tuesdays. So Tuesdays you can take off. But Wednesdays and Thursdays, hit the phones. Let's see, last but not least, back in 2007, it would take 3.68 cold call attempts until you found a client prospect. And today it is taking at least 9 cold call attempts to find a prospect lead. Okay. So I'm not going to read all these, but there are a number. There's about 15, not too many more. Let's see. The average real estate agent only makes 2 attempts and 45% only make 1 attempt. So that's half of the real estate industry only makes 1 attempt to follow up a client lead, and would increase their conversion rate by 9 times if they increase their follow-up attempt to only 5 times.
Yep.
Agents only have
Follow-up.
Agents only have a 2% chance of converting a cold call to an appointment. Lesson is to stop making cold calls and make warm calls using new ways to reach the decision makers. An average agent can make about 8 prospecting contacts per hour and prospects for 6 hours to set 1 buying or selling appointment. So remember, the magic number for prospecting is 50 prospects to set 1 appointment. Are you making enough contact when you prospect? The highest response rate of communication with consumers is a text, and 97% chance of getting a response. Lesson is to make sure you have the customer's cell phone number. Very important. Nurture leads have a 47% chance of making a large buying decision versus a non-nurtured lead. When communicating or making a sales presentation, visuals are processed 60,000 times faster in the brain than text. Use visuals and don't tell, but show and sell. The most memorable part of sales presentations for the customers is the last 5 minutes. So always end all of your sales presentations with a bang. 91% of current and past customers say they would give a referral to an agent, but only 11% of agents ever ask for a referral. That's a low percent. 11% of agents only asking for referrals. Each year, agents lose 14% of their customers a year. The biggest reason, not keeping in touch. Lesson is to keep in touch and always be prospecting. All right, I thought those stats were pretty good. So that'll be in the presentation if you guys want to go back to that. Keep going down. All right, so some ways to prospect in the prospecting status. Whoa, go back here. All right, search alerts. Search alerts are a great way to prospect, right? We set all of our farms up on search alerts for the town that they live in, right? Show them some houses, don't tell them about some houses. Show them all the listings in the town that they live, right? That's a way to give them free information in front of them. Open house campaign for all of the open house leads that you guys meet. Open house is always a great prospecting activity. Definitely use the open house campaign. Assign hashtags to leads as they respond to your content, maybe an open search alert, maybe evaluation you could set them up on. Send handwritten notes. We always talk about this. So the top 15 engaged leads every week, label printing. Send them a handwritten note. Use the app to call your open house search alerts and other engaged hashtags, and your digital farm. Don't forget to reach out to your digital farm as well for prospecting. All right, keep growing your pipelines and prospecting them. And don't forget to schedule a one-on-one with me and my YouTube channel for a lot of content. And that is all. Questions, thoughts?
So any questions, comments you guys have? All right, thank you, Nick.
You're welcome. Prospect, prospect, prospect.
All right, so we're going to talk about that right now. So let me just dive into Daily Dose of Good News here. Congratulations to Dinesh, because this is on point here, right? So we had a sphere on my whiteboard and had him set up for a follow-up campaign. So served him well because someone in his sphere just referred him to a buyer. So he kept top of mind by using my whiteboard. and got a phone call or an email back from his sphere saying, hey, you know what, I have a friend who's looking to move to the area. And bonus, this person will also have a property to sell. So again, nothing much that Dinesh did, but he had a sphere on a follow-up campaign. So let the system help you to do these things that we're telling you to do. All right, so now we are going to talk about getting better conversion, right? Because again, to me, that's the name of the game here is conversion.
I don't think you're sharing your screen. We can't see. Diane.
Diane, we don't see anything.
Okay, sorry. Where's the share button? All right, why didn't you guys tell me that?
You did.
Wondering how to convert your
Can you
number of
see now?
leads at a higher level? I got the best in the business with me today. Tom Tools out of Philadelphia, Greater Philadelphia area. He's going to share with you exactly what you can do to see higher conversion rates. You know, Tom, one of the things that I love and I've heard you say before is don't just collect leads. Make sure that you're not neglecting those leads, because what can happen is we get such in the business of, I just need more leads. I need more leads. But in reality, the neglect of those previous leads, some of those
And I
things
know
we're seeing on
many of you are
conversion
like
rates are
that.
even higher for the longer leads. You want to speak to that a little bit to begin with?
Everyone forgets about the nurture process. Agents want to pick up the phone, have one call, and not all agents, but agents that maybe don't make it or have trouble converting, they think it's going to happen on the first or second call. All the conversion is 6+ attempts. All the data is 6+ attempts get you more conversion, because we are in a lead conversion business, and the average realtor only follows up 2.7 times. So a lot of people, and you talk about collecting leads, you see folks, they grab all the leads. Like, and we see this on our team, we always look at the data. Having the most leads doesn't mean you're going to have the most sales. It's the most conversations and the most appointments, which is all about conversion. So it's those activities that get you in front of the client.
Yeah, you got some of the best systems in the business. Let's talk about that. What does that look like for you? How does that follow-up look? Maybe it's a mix of text, phone call. Let's talk about that. How does that look on the really applicable on what you do?
You got to get into digital rapport with your clients, meaning some people, they're not going to call you. They're not going to email you. Email, I'm not a big fan of personally, because usually people want my money or my time when they email me, but text works really well. If you're at a 4-to-1 ratio of text to calls, that converts a lot better now. We've seen that because it's more conversational. People are busy, right? Like I don't think I talked to you on the phone maybe once or twice during the year, but we text a lot. That's just how it works. So you've got to see how your clients want to talk to you. Now, some people, they're going to be phone call people, and that's cool too. The point is, you've got to understand what they want, and then just look at the outreach attempts. It's how many times are you texting them? How many times are you calling them? And when you get to that north of 6 attempts or 10 calls, 6 texts in the first 14 days, that's where the conversion happens.
That's right. So this is the question I always get. I'd love to get your insight on this. How often and how frequent? You know what I mean? I don't want to overwhelm them. I'll get that from agents sometimes, which is ironic. But talk to me about exactly what does that time frame look between where you have reached out and then you reach out again.
So one of the smartest things I think people do is you call someone, you leave a voicemail, send them a text message and say, hey, just tried calling. Is there a good time to connect? Schedule phone calls with people, because it's hard getting people on the phone now. Think about how the workforce has changed over the past 24 months. People are at home. They're on Zoom calls. Actually, people are busier working from home in a lot of cases than working in the office. So get in their calendar, schedule a call, then you can go through the pre-qualifying questions, ask all the right stuff, but schedule the call with a text. That works really well. I want their business. I'm reaching out to them. Nobody wants an aggressive agent until they have one, and you've got to tell people that. And if you're okay with it and you embrace it, people are going to respect that, especially the ones that are motivated to transact.
Yeah, I think a lot of agents that are listening to this, they hear us talk about now you can get them into the qualifying phase, but some of them don't know what that is. Let's talk about how you teach your agents and anybody you talk to about what are those first questions, should they be, and how do you follow up with those questions?
So for a seller, where are you planning on moving to next? Number one question, because if they don't know where they're going, Inventory's a challenge right now. We've talked about this all the time. It's all over the news. You've got to figure out where they're going. That's the number one question. If they don't know where they're going, then they might not be that motivated. For a buyer, you got to get into like the LP mama questions, like where do you want to move to? What's the price point? So location, price. Are they approved or are they paying cash, right? I mean, there's a whole acronym here. I'm not going to go through all of it. And you've got to find out what their plan is financially for themselves, where they want to go for their household, and what they're looking for so you can bring the right opportunities to them, because the market, it moves fast, and there's more homes that sold in 2021 than 2020. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. It just happens really quick. So you've got to get dialed in on what they want.
And I think a lot of people lose sight of this. A lot of newer agents, or maybe agents that are struggling a little bit, there should be an absolute goal when they're getting on these phone calls. You want to talk to that a little bit?
The goal is one thing. Get an appointment.
That's right.
Don't try to get the business. You're not going to win that over the phone. It's getting a time to meet with them face to face, belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball, because whoever goes on the most appointments, they sell the most houses. It's that simple.
Yeah, absolutely. So then let's talk about this. Now let's get us to the appointment. What are your goals in the appointment portion? Once you've made the appointment, you're meeting with them for the first time, what's your goal?
So for a seller, the goal is one thing. Get the listing contract signed at the appointment. Don't send it to them later. Don't say, okay, once you're out of that house, you don't know what's going to happen. That is something you can't control. My goal for a listing appointment when I was in production was get it signed.
That's right.
And for the buyer side, I think it's more about getting a commitment from the buyer, because you start throwing contracts in front of buyers right away, that to me is a red flag. It's a little bit of a different process. I know what the laws say. You give them a consumer notice in Pennsylvania. Say, hey, you know what, Jimmy? I'm going to show you homes. I'm going to spend time with you. I need one thing in return. I need your loyalty to be the guy you're going to contact when something comes up. If I can get a commitment from a buyer or a commitment from a seller, the seller commitment's a listing contract. That's what you're looking for.
Right. You know, I think sometimes people, once you get the conversion, also that's when the real opportunity to build that rapport also through the process of that after the conversions happen. What kind of follow-up do you have after the contract, after the listing agreement, some of those things?
So that's where you got to systemize this stuff. So if you can't get the contract signed, you can't get the commitment, send them a video and tell them how much you want your business, literally right afterwards. And I would send it in a text, because that's conversational. It's not going to be like an email. It's going to pop up on their phone in their hand. If you get the appointment signed, then I think it's really important to either you or your staff or your assistant or whoever, because there's a lot of people watching, let them know what the follow-up steps are going to be. Send them a memo, right? An email, like, hey, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's next. Here's a copy of the documents. You've got to let them know what's happening next, because trust gets broken when people don't know when they're going to hear from you.
That's good.
Chris Voss said this, the FBI negotiator, right? Certainty is delivered by knowing when they're going to hear from you. So if I'm in a meeting with you and you say, great, congrats, looking forward to working with you, you'll hear from me by Monday at the latest. Okay, now I'm not freaking out when you're going to call me. And that's what people are worried about, because the number one complaint about real estate agents is their clients don't hear from them.
Exactly right. Yeah. And what I've always said is if you can reverse that, and that can become your kind of almost your signature of that, I'm going to over communicate to you. You're going to hear from me each Friday about what's going on with
Set the expectation.
That's exactly right. Set that expectation and follow through on it and execute on that. Because once you do that, that consistency begins to build that trust. So this is so now we've got the contract, we've got this. Let's talk about post, because this is something I think sometimes what we're talking about when we're talking about collecting and then neglecting. After the sale, the statistics from NAR tell us, what is it, 34% or something?
34% of all business last year came from a past client or a referral, right? So, and that's actually should be much higher for your business.
Yeah,
that's a low number because it's a national number. So you've got to have the planned outreach attempts there, because your database is under attack right now. The portals are coming after you. They want a piece of the commission. So I'd be looking at calling them maybe a week after the closing. Hey, how you getting settled in, Jimmy? How's everything going? Or, hey, did everything go okay with the sale of your home? I know it's a hectic day. I just wanted to follow up, make sure you didn't miss anything or didn't have any questions. Call them in 30 days. Call them on their birthday. Call them on the day they closed on their house, and call them around the holidays. Get them on direct mail. Send them a video once a week via email. I mean, there's so much stuff you can do. You've got to have the system.
Yeah. The conversion really comes down to that consistency. Having a plan of action. I mean, walking in and practicing with those folks is crazy. I know that y'all do a lot of role playing. Talk to me about the value of role playing for all of these phases.
The goal of role play is to talk to less people and set more appointments. A lot of folks they don't role play hard enough, right? Like you ever have, like you play sports when you were a kid, like the coach that coached you hard, that's the best coach, right? You've got to be aggressive in these things. You got to think of the craziest objection you weren't able to handle yourself and give that to your role play partner, and then have them throw it back at you and practice these things. Because if you don't practice, then you're practicing on paychecks And that gets a little risky.
Absolutely. Listen, if you guys are not following Tom on all of his social media, everything you're doing with Agent Hacks, tell me.
So we got a weekly radio show,
Yeah.
Tool Time Radio, #1 radio show in Philadelphia. Not
There it
really,
is.
but we're on. But it's Tool Time Radio. We stream on YouTube. We've got Agent Hacks, which is our weekly show about ways to convert in your business, and we've got our consumer-facing show, Tom's Take, about what's going on in the market. I think that covers it, Nick. I don't think we have anything, but we have 3 shows a week that come out, and really it's about what's going on in the news. How can consumers benefit from real estate knowledge, and how can agents? Because those are the people that are out there.
Yeah, very few people add as much value to the industry as Tom does. I appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate
very
your friendship.
kind.
Appreciate everything that you do for the industry as a whole and all you've done for me. So I know you guys got something out of this. Make sure you go and you follow Tom, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because
Okay, what did you guys think of that video? Don't all speak at once. A few themes that we've talked about repeatedly, right? Conversion happens after 6 attempts of reaching out to people consistently, right? Follow up with video, right? I've done that in my open house training. Do a little video. Hey, thank you for coming to my open house. I'm going to give you a call later. So lots of things that we've talked about here. So I would suggest rewatching that, take some notes. There were some great ideas there that, you know, this is a game of inches, right? What I love about this business is you're always getting better, right? So take a thought or two and start implementing that in your business and see what that does for you, right? It's a business of constantly improving and growing. All
Yes,
right.
Diane.
Yeah.
I find it's good information. It's good reinforcement. So,
Yes. And I find that when I say something, you guys don't necessarily listen. So
Well,
when-
actually,
I hear you.
my takeaway from this was that follow up with let them know when you're going to call next, because it sets an expectation from them. I've done that twice, so but yeah, that's my takeaway from it, and plus more, but
yeah.
good
Yeah.
stuff.
See, great job, Charles. Charles has a notepad there and he's taking notes. So that's great. That's what you all should be doing. And you know, obviously you have the link to the video when I send out the slides and the recording. So watch this again. Anyone else have any comments? You guys were a lot more talkative when we did this meeting in person. Also mentioned about the text message communication. Yes, and then Nick just shared that too, right? I found that in my business, right? This was pre-video. I got much better responses from text messages than from calling people, right? Especially when you call and they don't answer the phone. Follow up a message with a text. But that was the other thing that he said that I tell you guys all the time. He said, you want to reach out in different ways because you don't know how this person likes to communicate, right? So you want to reach out by email, by text, by call, and figure out what works best with this person. Find out how they like to communicate. So that's another thing that I tell you guys a lot. And he said the same thing I do. I don't like email. Email to me is way too passive. People get way too many emails. It gets stuck in their spam. That's not a great conversion tool, right? You got to actually have a communication with somebody, which is call and text. All right. Any other takeaways you guys took away from this?
Diane, I have a question because I have some clients under my CRM that unsubscribe to texting. So the only way I can communicate is either call or email.
So I would reach out to them when they unsubscribe. Sometimes people do it by accident, especially on my WhiteGirt. So I would call them and just say, hey, I got a notification you unsubscribed from my text messages. That's fine if you did. I just want to, make sure sometimes that accidentally happens that you meant to unsubscribe. And is there a better way for me to communicate with you?
Okay.
All right. Ask the question. Okay. Which is how do you prefer to be communicated with? Most people I do find like to be texted. And even if I send an email, hey, I saw this listing, I thought would be great for you, I follow it up with a text. Hey, I sent you some properties to look at. Again, to me, emails get buried. They really do. And it's too high risk that somebody's not going to see an email. So if I leave a voicemail, I send an email. If it's something I really want them to pay attention to, I send a text.
Okay, because that's pretty much what I do when I send them listings. I'll text them also to remind them to check their email, because I know I don't check my email often, so I know a lot of people don't either. So when I send them listings, I will text them and say, you know, check your email. I sent you a bunch of listings.
Yep. Great point. Yes. Emails just get buried. So Ellen has a great resource. Thank you, Ellen. She said she had some trouble finding contact information and found usphonebook.com. And she said it's free and it's tons of information. So thank you, Ellen. Appreciate that. I had recommended True People Search, which is a little labor intensive to get the information. So here's another resource for you. And by the way, you know, obviously we have Cole Realty. Just to let you know, Remind, don't forget Remind. So I had a case, I needed to contact my neighbor above me because water was pouring onto my property. So of course I go to Cole Realty. Found one phone number, called it and didn't get a response. So I'm like, all right, let me test it out. I went to Remind, and Remind had way more phone numbers. You know, I went down the list and called the numbers and did find the contact information to reach out to him. So don't forget all of these other sources, and what you should be doing for your contact record is keep building that out, right? So if you're not finding the phone numbers on Cole, you're not sure they work, right? Because I hear that a lot. I left a message or I didn't get anyone, or the person moved, right? Check Remind, check US Phone Book, but keep building on that contact record to build that out, which is exactly why I don't want you to have 1,400 people, because then again, you're not really engaging with those people. So thank you very much, Ellen. All right. Kimi, are you on?
Yes.
All right. What's the best way for you to share the town market materials? You want me to stop sharing and you can share your screen?
Yeah.
Okay. And thank you so much, Kimia, for working with Jaslyn to put that stuff together.
No problem. Let me. Okay. Turn on my video. Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So the town packets are going to be available on a shared Google Drive for the office. Jocelyn's uploading them. She started yesterday. She's continuing today. But here is what I had put together in Canva, which if anybody wants to customize them to put their own picture on, then you can do it with a free Canva account.
And Nick will become the keeper of these. So Nick, because he's our Canva expert, will help you guys to customize it for yourself. So just make sure that you reach out to Nick at enough time to do that.
Okay, thanks. So this is just the front page, which for each town, I don't remember the website. It says it really small on here. Let me see if I blow this up, if you can see more. Townmapsusa.com. You can go there, put in any town name, and it'll spit out this picture. You put the town and the state, it spits out this image with the state behind it and the name of the town on it, and a little star generally where the town is located. So I actually saw that on somebody else's and I was like, oh, well, that's easy. Let's put that on ours. So this is just the cover page. So there's one I did it for most of the towns in Essex. County. So those are what exists. Then the rest of the packet, let me minimize this. Recommended places. So this is now the Montclair packet. Restaurants, shops and services, other things like this. So I was giving this to my clients after they rented or purchased, but then I thought, why not just have this on hand at open houses to start conversations with people when they're asking you where something is. I've also done a more localized map for the property itself so that I can say this park is here, this park is there, this is where the jitney is, etc. But this is general town information.
And there's also a lot of them for the towns, the surrounding towns. So the information is already there. You're basically just, unless you want to add stuff, you're basically just personalizing it to yourself.
Yeah, so then you guys could use this at open houses, on buyer consultations.
And the West Orange one has a nice graphic that West Orange does, tells you about their parks and everything like that. But basically it's just, you know, all the town information that some of us spend the time pulling before an open house, and then you end up with 15 different sheets of paper. Instead, it can just all be compiled into one packet that you can hand over to someone.
And more importantly, it's branded to you and something that somebody keeps as a resource, right? So this is something that people will keep when they're looking at an area. So now this has all of your information in there.
Did you do the entire packet on Canva? This is great.
Yeah, initially I had it, I think, in Word, and then I moved it to Canva. It was actually a lot easier to customize and manipulate in Canva.
And we have copies of all the town of these packets in the office, so you can see what it looks like. And then you can, you know, work with Nick to do your own.
Yeah, so you guys should have these. You know, I talked about at the open house training, right? You want to have your, and same thing for a buyer consultation. You want to have your resources that you like to use, right? It will have to be customized for the specific house, but these are all town specific. You might need to customize a map to make it more local to that house, but have your things that you like to have prepared. So you're ready to go. So yeah, this is something I have wanted to do for a very, very long time because I saw this as a huge need to the office. So thank you, Kimia. You got a lot of accolades, Moses, Ellen, Kerwin. Really allows you to show your stuff, and it is really you know, specific to the towns and shows your value, right? It's got restaurant recommendations. I forgot when I had clients, you know, I would send stuff out like, where's the closest, you know, supermarket, where's the closest, you know, pharmacy and things like that. So you can customize this obviously further. The other thing, Kimi, and I don't know if you want to speak to that we were pulling together is any like articles out in the news about towns. Again, a great thing that you can send out to people, have at open houses. So that's something else that we have been collecting. So again, I always liked a lot of paper at my open houses. That's a great thing to provide to people and show your value. If they're thinking about different towns, right? And they're like, oh, I don't really know that much about West Orange. Hey, you know, I've got, you know, a resource guide about West Orange and I have a few articles about the town. So again, great things to be able to send out to them. So, so Kimia, this is going to be a shared Google Drive, right?
So the shared Google Drive will be the generic version. If you want the customized version, then yeah, you'd have to work with Nick and Canva. Although to be honest, I mean, Canva really isn't very difficult. So it just will be a matter of sharing it so that people can customize it. So I have to look at that because Canva is always trying to push you to have teams, which isn't free. So maybe if Nick owns it, then we can figure out how to make it work best for people to access it and customize it.
Nick, you have a comment?
Yeah, so it's on a Google Drive. I could download it and then I'll have access to it, right? And then anybody that needs it customized, I just need their headshot and information, and then we could put it on there.
I think I might be able to
On
share
Canva.
it. I might be able to share it with you, Nick. I just think I can't share it with
Everyone.
50 people.
Yeah,
So I'll
and
try
then
to share it with you in Canva, and then that way you don't have to.
yeah, then I could download it. Maybe I could turn it into like a PowerPoint slide where you can like edit it. So if you wanted to put in your photos, I don't know. I'll try. let me play around with it.
I think you can leave it in Canva and just throw in the headshot and change the name of
Use it
whomever
from
is.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can just copy. You can just duplicate.
Do you have both versions? Do you have your version and the generic, just so then I could easily drop photos into that circle you have there?
Yeah, I'll ask Jaslyn.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're
Yeah.
welcome.
Jocelyn's finishing up on the 24th. So, we're gonna have a little cake for her. Thank her for all her hard work. And if there's anything that we need to have done before she leaves, make sure you let us know.
Yes, tomorrow she's gonna be in from 11 to, today she's in from 12 to 4, tomorrow 11 to 3, and we're doing the cake at 2 tomorrow. And then Friday, I think again, 11 to 3.
All right. Anyone else have any questions on this?
Did the time for the cake get moved up, Kathy?
Yeah, because she has a doctor's appointment.
Okay. I might
So
not-
hopefully you guys can make that. All right, just a reminder of our ugly listing contest. All right, so remember, it's whoever gets the worst listing, at least the before pictures, because we don't want to list it that way, right? And like I said, I already have a picture of a house with dog poop inside. So that's the bar that's so far been set. All right, you have to have at least an exclusive listing signed, right? So you can't just go see an ugly house and take pictures, right? You have to actually get the listing signed. And it runs through Labor Day, right? So this is our summer contest. Right, you need to send me pictures. Again, I need to validate these. Don't just take a picture of some ugly house that you're in and the signed listing agreement, and then you'll be officially entered. And then we're gonna have a vote at the first sales meeting after Labor Day. All right, so the winner will win a $100 gift card for the Design Center and a bonus $50 if it's a 6% listing agreement. I should say at least 6%, because there is no cap on the commission. And my point was, which it should be, right? If you have to do all of this work to get that listing ready, then you obviously should be taking a 6% listing. All right, so I had created an idea for a social media post, which I emailed out. So I'm in a contest at work. I need to sign up the worst listing to win, and you can, pick your word, the ugliest listing or whatever. Please help me by putting me in contact with anyone you know who would fit that criteria. Trust me, they will thank you, as this is the best opportunity for them to get top dollar for that property, right? And I even pulled in a picture. Anyone know any properties that look like this, right? Seriously, I'm in a contest at work and want to win. Plus, I can help these people get top dollar for these properties. All right, so I'm always hearing from you guys. I don't know what to post. I don't know what content. There you go. You've got a great post idea that I'm sure will generate a lot of likes, a lot of shares. All right, so go do it. All right, this you can post to your personal page. All right, any comments, questions you guys have about this contest? All right, you guys awake?
Can I do my pictures that I find?
I was not sharing. No, because I need a listing agreement.
I'll get a listing agreement. I don't know if it'll be with me, but I'll get a listing agreement.
All right, then you're entered, Kathy.
You can share. You can give us the referral, and we'll give you the reward. You know.
Absolutely, we've got the ponds, right? Don't forget those ponds.
We just asked for the referral too. Look at that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So seriously, make this social media post. I'm going to be checking all of your personal Facebook and Instagrams and make sure that this is out there. All right, we went through this. All right, so some office updates. Happy birthday to Mike, fellow Gemini. No, I guess you're over the cusp now. So birthday is tomorrow. You got an accepted offer on his listing, so that's a good birthday present. And happy anniversary, John Mendez. Wow, 17 years. All right, look what's sold. Dan sold his listing at East Passaic Ave. Dan is a fantastic geographic farmer. He has been doing this for many, many years. He has many farm areas, not all of Bloomfield, by the way. And he's created a map for me of a lot of other areas that he does not cultivate. So if you're looking for a farm area in Bloomfield, come talk to me. But he's very, very consistent about sending mailers out, which always keeps him in listings. All right, congratulations to Sarah and Henry closing on this house in Bayville, which by the way is a great crabbing area. That's where my friend and I go crabbing. I live vicariously through the houses you guys sell. What a cute little ranch house. And that's, they do a very good job of leveraging their sphere. All right, office training. Do not forget what we are doing. And first off, after this meeting, I have my rescheduled CMA training that I was going to do yesterday. Zoom did not work, so hence we have to limit our reliance on Zoom, everybody. So we're going to do this right after I sent out the Zoom link this morning at 6 p.m. tonight in the office, and Nick is going to help us with this. We're going to create the unsolicited CMA videos. Okay, so this was the Jimmy Burgess idea that I've played for you guys a few times, where basically you just run through comps of either someone's house, in your sphere, someone that you met with before that they didn't list yet, your farm area, right? You just need to know more or less, the stats on the house, right? You're going to be showing properties that have sold in the neighborhood, right? So, they have to be loosely comparable, because if you haven't seen the house, you're going to give them a pretty wide range, or you'll give them the automated value of their home. The idea is that this is a teaser. Okay, so if they are interested in getting, more of an idea of what their home is worth, that they're going to contact you. But again, this shows your personal touch, it shows your high level service, and it shows your market knowledge. So this is a great way of reaching out to people. All in all, to pull in the comps and to create the video, it's about, half an hour's worth of work. Jimmy Burgess's suggestion is send out, one per day. I'm saying send out one per week. And he said he got $11 million in listing business from doing just these unsolicited CMA videos. So please come to the office tonight. We'll help you create the videos. And what you need to do is have the property in mind that you want to send out the unsolicited CMA for, and 3 to 5 comparable properties. Again, could just be houses in the neighborhood that you've just set aside in a cart, okay? Because you're going to go through those on screen. And basically we'll just do those on Zoom. So I'll create a Zoom link that you guys can just get on to share it and record it. All right. Don't forget, tomorrow we have a company call session. There's a great training on Weichert University, become a listing rainmaker at 1 p.m. And then again, I will do the training on creating a CMA. So what I'm going to go through creating a CMA and RPR and using our, what do we call it? Price trend analysis. So we're going to use 99 Essex Ave in Montclair because it's a pretty, standard type house that we have in Montclair. So plenty of comps. And the other reason is it's closing in roughly 10 days. So we'll be able to see how close did we come to what the sale price is. And this is a skill that, again, you really just get from practice and you get the confidence. And this is just one of those skills that you really just have to hone on by doing a lot of these. So what I used to do as a new agent is this is what I would used to do is I would try to predict what the sale price was of a house that I had seen. By the way, you guys should be going out to Brokers Open, seeing these houses in person and looking to see and try to predict what you think it should sell for. By the way, it's a pretty fun exercise. And there is also a certification you can get in pricing. It's called Pricing Strategy Advisor. It's a certification that you get under NAR. I have it. I know Kimia got it. And there's a network of PSA certified agents nationwide, that there's a joint Facebook group and you do get referrals from it and connection points. And then you use this in your marketing. All right. And then another training that I thought was really good from Weichert University, define your unique selling proposition. Again, this is something that you should be able to easily vocalize. And then don't forget, weather permitting, obviously, door knocking with me. Last week, it was 90 degrees, but no one came. I would like to get out of the office, and we have found that Friday lunchtime tends to be a good time to get people. All right. So please come to the office if you're interested in going door knocking with me. Remember, this is a great way of making that personal connection with somebody that just goes above and beyond.
Hey, Diane, it's Alice. Can you just clarify again? So what, an agent made 11 million in volume from just the CMA campaign?
Yes. So Jim Burgess, who I run a lot of his trainings or his videos, this was something that he did as part of his farming program. He would send out an unsolicited CMA. He would probably get to everybody on a quarterly basis, right? He did one per day. And just by doing that, he said he got $11 million in listing volume.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do tonight?
That's what we're gonna do tonight.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, that Alice, that would be a great thing for you.
I completely agree.
Yeah, yeah, you're great on video. You're very dynamic. You know the market, so you can talk through these comps pretty easily. And I will resend the CMA video that I did so you can see what this is about and what you need to do to prepare. So I will resend that out after this meeting. But it's really simple. All you're really doing is just on Zoom, so it can be recorded, walking through properties that have sold in the neighborhood. So for me, I used my friend's house because I've been in it, and there were a lot of recent sales in the area, and there are people that I reach out to when property sells in their neighborhood. Hey, look at what your neighbor's house sold for. So this is just a little bit above. And again, this is something you can send out to past clients, to your sphere, to your farm areas. So there's no shortage of people that you can send this out to.
Diane?
Yep.
I'm a little confused. Are you doing the 11 o'clock that you sent in the text, or you're not?
I am doing the 11 o'clock. They're two
So
different things.
So it's not the company call session today. It's just the CMA, the meeting that was going to be the 6 o'clock tomorrow.
No, it's the meeting that was going to be yesterday when Zoom did not work. It's my newer agent training.
Yeah, it's the 6 p.m. one for tomorrow.
Yeah. It's the same thing. I always do 2 different
Yeah,
times.
I know. I just want to make sure that's what's happening at 11.
Session.
Okay.
Yeah, so it had to be rescheduled from yesterday because Zoom wasn't working. And I did send out the Zoom link. So these are 2 different things. One is how to do a CMA, which you need to learn how to do. And the other one is creating unsolicited CMA videos to send out to people. All right. So 2 different things. Do not think they're the same thing. All right. Here is how we are doing for our objectives this month. Listing objectives, only 4 out of 10. Come on, guys, we got 10 more days. As you know, the listings is really what sets us up for a good month next month, because you guys meet people at open houses. We sell that property. We get attention, our signs, emails, mailers, right? So, you know, listings are still the name of the game. So we are doing a lot better on sales. Which is great. You guys have definitely learned how to navigate this market, but we do need more listings. And remember, you can win the ugly listing contest. So some added motivation there. We are at 75% of our revenue objective for the month. So make sure you bring anything in that has been signed on both sides. We've got, what, 8 more days, 9 more days. So we definitely want to get that. Remember, there is the office incentive. We are getting a bonus every week, which I have been using to get leads for the pond. Spoke to Kimi yesterday. We'll reserve some of that budget for community marketing, which I do think is very important for us to get the office name out there. Don't forget, open houses. So reach out to Kathy if you have not done so already, if you have availability Saturday or Sunday. And by the way, guys, don't forget the Twilight open houses. I don't see Twilights on the board. That is a really great opportunity to get people. Remember, people go away on the weekends in the summer, or people have, you know, weddings or graduations or a bunch of other stuff. In the summer, people's weekends are really, really taken up. So do those Twilight open houses, because that is a great opportunity to meet additional people, meet new people. Let me just check the chat. If there was anything else. All right, Moses has 2 more for us. Thanks, Moses. All right. All right, so this is what I was talking about, right? So all this news about how, you know, the market, and again, it's not saying that the market is crashing in any way, right? They're talking about the economy. We're heading into a recession, right? That is not what has been translating into the real estate market, right? So we calculate this for you every week. We were in the 1s last week. Now we're below 1. All right, look at these markets: Montclair, Belleville, Bloomfield, Glen Ridge, even Essex Fells is below 1. Essex Fells has never been below 1. All right, so again, when you're talking to people, make sure that you're explaining this dynamic to them and why is this happening, right? Even if demand goes down slightly, and let's talk about it. We are in high-priced markets. These are higher-priced markets, right? They're not going to feel the impact of mortgage rates as much as a lower-priced market, right? Where people are on the edge of affordability. Let's face it, a lot of people are not living, you know, hand to mouth every month in our markets as they are in some other markets, right? So you also have to talk about real estate is a very local market phenomenon, right? So what's happening maybe in Minnesota is not necessarily what's going to be happening here, right? Where we do have a market that's much less susceptible to interest rate changes. The other thing is, again, even if demand goes down slightly, unless we're making up the supply, we still don't have a balanced market. While we have an imbalance of supply and demand, prices go up, right? That's just economics. So while we do think demand is going to go up and hopefully inventory is going to go up because sellers are going to be like, man, I got to sell. I got to capitalize on this market. It's going to go down, right? Until they're balanced, prices don't stabilize. Okay. So at least for our market area, we're still projecting prices to rise. Now, when that market will turn, I am hearing from you guys a little bit less in terms of the number of offers that people are getting, maybe a little bit of at least stabilization in prices, but it's still a super aggressive market. All right. So again, I want to make sure that you guys have a good understanding that you guys can communicate this to people, because the news doesn't do a good job of it, right? That's our role, is to really explain to people what they're hearing on the news is a national thing and what's happening in our local market, right? So again, absorption rates are going down. All right. New coming soon listings. Alice has a great condo in Belleville. And I don't know, Alice, if you want to say a couple words since I know you're on.
So it's a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, newly renovated last April. It's priced at $350, so it's priced to sell, and we can close as soon as 31 days. And Sunday will be the first showing. And the HOA is about $185. It's a gated community with an indoor pool, golf course, gazebo. Anyone who knows Essex Park, that's literally where it is. So it's like a few minutes from our office.
Yeah. And it's
Sorry
right
about
across
the
from our-
price. Sorry about the price.
Like, wow, that's an expensive condo for Belleville.
Yeah, I could see it. It's $350. What
Yeah,
did
so
Kathy put?
She had $750.
What
Oh,
happens when you
Kathy,
guys
I was
talk to me
like
when
that
I'm doing
commission
slides?
check.
That's what happens.
I love that commission check, Kathy. Keep it.
All right, and then Liz has, so this, I don't know if you guys all know, Liz's father was a builder and he built this house. So I haven't seen it since it's been completely, she did a lot of work to update it, but this is an amazing mid-century modern and a beautiful big backyard and a really nice quiet area and very desirable area of Montclair. So you guys should all be promoting the hell out of this. I'm telling you, our market does really well with mid-century modern. So make sure you guys are promoting this to everybody in your database, right? Send it out. Hey, we just got this great mid-century modern built by a builder for himself. I was always taught you always buy the builder's house. Great, example of mid-century modern architecture, beautiful big backyard, highly desirable area in Montclair. You guys should be taking advantage of this and help Liz get a buyer for this. That was a daily dose of good news that I sent out. I mean, an agent was doing that with their own database. But again, you guys should be promoting the office listings. It doesn't just have to be your listings. Send an amazing new listing that we have in the office that you know is going to get a lot of interest. And I would do this as the listing of the week. Those of you guys who send out the listing of the week. Again, people really jump all over mid-century modern architecture because there's so little of it in this area and people really like that vibe. So I would send this out to everybody in your database, right? Kathy has the picture. So you guys can, we have, the listing template. We have an exclusive listing template. Just copy it, clone it, put in the picture, put in some details and send it out. Which I guess it's not an exclusive, it's a coming soon.
I was gonna say, is it an exclusive or it's on the market?
It's a coming soon.
Okay.
So you might be able to pull it from the MLS.
It's not on the MLS yet.
It's not on yet.
Yeah, but I'm being nosy. It looks gorgeous. That looks amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really nice inside. 1 floor living, huge garage. You can probably fit like 6 cars in there. Big, beautiful backyard. If somebody ever
I think
wanted
it's going
to
on
pool.
today.
I look at it and I'm like, we could go play Brady Bunch at it. Let's go have the Brady Bunch open
Exactly.
house.
You have to see the backyard is so nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh my God.
Hang on, wait,
Brady Bunch house.
hang on if I can, hold on. I'll hold up a picture. Oh my God.
But again, I want you guys posting all of this all over social media.
Yeah, if realtors are gushing over it, think what the public's gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you guys can see my, it's got this weird, hang on.
No.
Can you guys see it? Probably
We
not,
can't see
right?
it with your
My background thing, hang on.
No, but that's a good marketing tactic because now we have to reach out to you.
Yes, look,
Maybe
see
I'll do
it? It's
that.
like, ooh, it's got a koi pond in the back. It's really cool.
What? Oh my gosh.
yeah, and a huge flat backyard, which, as you guys know, is tough to get in Montclair. And this is a street of, you know, multi-million-dollar properties.
So you're saying this was built by a builder, so you know it's done right, because if he wants to live there.
Yeah, this was
It was built by her dad.
With his parents' house.
Oh, wow. Well, okay.
And he was a very notable builder. Yeah, so get out there, let's sell this baby. I don't want this going to anyone else. All right, so we were talking about CMAs. We seem to be we're focusing on CMAs right now. So we have another resource for you guys, Toolkit CMA, that I know a few of the agents use. So the office pays for this every month, so I want to make sure that you guys all know about this resource. And again, we'll talk about, it's for me, for CMAs, you know, figure out what you like to do best. I just use, because this is the only resource I had when I was an agent, I just use the MLS, quite frankly. But, you know, we have the price trend analysis, RPR, we're going to go through today. But we also purchase, we have a license for Toolkit CMA. So they're going to do a Zoom training for us on the 30th. Ellen, you had a question?
Yeah, because I went on, yes, hi. I went on it yesterday, and when I put in, because I set up an account and I entered Mark's name as my mortgage consultant,
yeah,
it automatically upgrades you to a premier or premium account.
Oh, that's cool to know. All
Yep.
right. That's good to know. All right, so I think the advantage of using this, I mean, same thing as RPR. I'm sort of curious when they come and do their presentation, how it really compares to RPR is it creates a really nice presentation format for you. So if you're doing a CMA for someone, you know, I used to create that in table form, etc. Right? This creates a very nice presentation that you can then share with your seller. So thanks for sharing that, Ellen. Okay. Alice just let us know she has a 4-family coming soon in Patterson. So this is a great opportunity to send that out. Alice, do you have some pictures you can share so that we can start marketing that?
Yeah, absolutely. Kerwin will be hosting the open house this Sunday. It's the first time it's being shown. So we have a lot of activity, a lot of calls. All the direct mailers have been out already. So it should be a huge crowd.
Yeah, and so you guys should send that out, you know, great subject line, calling all investors, you know, highly desirable 4-family, because we don't have that many 4 families. Bridget's asking what's the listing price. Maybe that's the 750.
Oh, Bridget, is the same one I sent you all the photos of?
Okay, so again, I would send that out to everybody in your database, because real estate is a great hedge for inflation, and that's where a lot of investors invest in real estate as a hedge for inflation. So you see and you read a lot of these articles about how investors have a large part of the market. It is because it's a great hedge for inflation, right? You're locking in a mortgage rate when prices are going to rise, right? Rents are rising. There was just something I read that rents nationally rose an average of 14% just this past year. So investors really seek investment properties in periods of high inflation. All right, so Alice says it's listed for 646.9. All right, thank you, everyone. That's all I had. We're all in the office and Nick is here. If you want to come in and meet with him, and he's also going to help you guys with the CMA videos. So please come in and do the CMA videos. So jump off this Zoom and join now this is the CMA training, not the videos, at 11. Thanks, everyone.